शन्नो मित्रश्शन्वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्भक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु भक्तारम् ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 where we are in the text. We'll chant first, and then from there we will look at the Bhashya and then go. अन्योन्तर आत्मानन्दमयः तेनैष पूर्णः सभावेश पुरुषविध एव तस्य पुरुषविधताम् अन्वयं पुरुषविधः तस्य प्रियमेव शिरः मोदो दक्षिणः पक्षः प्रमोद उत्तरः पक्षः आनन्द आत्मा ब्रह्मपुच्छं प्रतिष्ठा तदप्येष श्लोको भवति. This is called the Moola Grantha. Moola Grantha means the primary text, which is being explained with the help of the commentary of Adi Shankara, as it has been given to us by Pujya Swamiji. So that is the krama here. And so when we chant we should know what we are chanting. And so right now what we have chanted is the Taittiriya original primary text. And then this is the section on Anandamaya Kosha. Much maligned, much misunderstood, and very intriguing all at once. This Anandamaya Kosha is, all at once. And so this is something to be understood properly. So because very intriguing it is, why? Because everybody wants Ananda. And so finally we have come to Anandamaya, and here too numerous scholars, starting with the ancient Bhartru Prapancha, who even predated or was a contemporary of Adi Shankara, we do not know, have a lot of scholars have and continue to mistake Anandamaya Kosha for Ananda Atma. A mistake that I alluded to in the last class, a mistake that is very unfortunate and at the same time rather costly mistake. And why it is costly? Because it's like mistaking the thief that has come to rob as a guest who has come to visit. And so and then what happens? The lady of the house gives, the thief has passed out. in the living room after having taken a few things, but perhaps he was drunk or drugged or something and he just passed out. And then the lady of the house woke up and thought, oh, some guest has come in the night. So made him a cup of coffee. So this is exactly like mistaking Anandamaya for Ananda. Anandamaya is a small fry, a thief of sorts. Why? Because it steals away the correct understanding. That is why Adi Shankara, before even going into the Mula Grantha and explaining the Mula Grantha, what does he do? He posits 5 different reasons why Anandamaya Kosha he ain't Ananda. Why there is a very big difference? He is going to go into step by step in the Bhashya, and we are going to be looking at it. Why it is not Ananda. But first, we have to see the cause of the mistake. First, we'll see the cause of the mistake, and before that, we will take this the Mula portion that was chanted and translate that first. So we know what we are talking about, so that when we have some kind of a discussion, we are in the know of how to enjoy it, because we have already studied the Mula Grantha. Okay, so here this is where we are in the Mula Grantha. Okay, so here let me make it bigger so we can see this. All right, so here we are. Yeah, here we are. Anyontara Atma Nandamaya. That is also okay. But that's how we chant it. Anyontara Atma Nandamaya. But you see these 2 S's over here, these S's, things like these S hook type characters, it is called avagraha. It shows that something has been elided. And so there are the of the Atma and the one of the Ananda. Those 2 A's have been elided. So therefore, one from the Atma and one from the A, here Anandamaya, has been elided. So Atma plus Anandamaya, Atma Nandamaya. So that is to show that. So Ananda, Anyontara Atma. Anyaha cha antarascha. That which is anya. Anya means other. Other than what? Etasmat vijnanamaya. From this vijnanamaya. Separate. Anya. Other than this Atma. Other means it's not outside. Where is it? Within. Meaning it is subtler than the Vijnanamaya and it pervades the Vijnanamaya. Therefore, Anyontara Atma Anandamaya or Anandamaya. Anandamaya. Tena. Tena means what? Kena. Anandamayena. And then Eshaha. Vijnanamaya. Purnaha. Purnaha means filled up, totally pervaded. So by this Anandamaya, the Vijnanamaya is totally pervaded. Totally pervaded means what? That we go back to the maxim that we have studied here before, that which is subtle is more pervasive than that which is gross. So, Kartritvam is Vijnanamaya. We saw that it is do worship. And then Bhoktritvam is going to be revealed as Anandamaya. We are going to see that. So, how can we say, a very important question arises, how can we say that experiencership, if there is such a word, but I think you understand the concept, How can we say that experiencership is more subtle than doership? How can we say that? But think about it. It is true. Even experientially, it is true. Because when when is there more of a sense of satisfaction? When you're doing something, is there a sense of satisfaction? Or when you are experiencing something pleasant, there is a sense of satisfaction. So that satisfaction is much more subtle and not easily objectifiable than the doership. And so, therefore, by this Anandamaya, the Vijnanamaya is pervaded. So now, Anandamaya pervades all the other Mayas thus far, not just Vijnanamaya. Because Vijnanamaya pervades what? Manomaya. Manomaya pervades what? Pranamaya. Pranamaya pervades what? What does Pranamaya pervade? Hello, chop chop, quick.
Annamaya.
What does Pranamaya? Annamaya. Abba. Okay. So that's why sudden quizzes are needed. Okay. All right. So Annam. So now Anandamaya pervades all the other Mayas. From the beginning to Anandamaya, all the Mayas, Anandamaya pervades. It's like all these, each one is subtler than the other. Anandamaya is the subtlest of all. Savai, indeed it is Esha Purusha Vidhaha Eva. Here the Visarga is elided because it is followed by a vowel, so it should be Purusha Vidhaha Eva because of a Sandhi, Visarga Sandhi. The Visarga is not there, but we have to pronounce it. Esha Purusha Vidhaha Eva. It is indeed Purusha Vidhaha means what? Purushakaraha. It is of the nature of this bird. Purusha actually means human being, but doesn't matter. It's still kind of like a human like or a with its left wing, right wing, etc. It's got a akara. It's got a form. Tasya Purusha Vidhatam. Anu ayam Purusha Vidhaha. This is what explains it. Anu ayam Purusha Vidhaha. Tasya Purusha Vidhata means this has that human form or the bird form. And the bird form is Anu ayam. Anu means in keeping with the human form, this bird form is presented. And then the bird form again, just like the other, all the other Mayas, from Annamaya onwards, we have the head, we have the right wing, we have the left wing, and then we have the trunk, and then we have the tail. We have all these things. So then, so what is the head? Priya is its head. Priya means what? An Indian lady's name, common name in India. No, that's not what this is about. What is Priya here? Priya is a condition of the heart, of the mind. It is described, I think, in the Tika. It is described as Ishtavastu Darshanena, the kind of a mental modification, vritti vishesha, a kind of a mental modification that takes place upon the what? Upon the sight of a thing of love. So when you see something you love, right? Yeah, when you see something you love, what happens? What happens when you see something you love? A few teeth come out. Are there any audio problems? Audio problems are there? Some people are complaining of audio problems. No? Yeah.
Yes,
So
Swamini ji. Swamini ji,
whoever is having problems, please log out and log back in, okay? Because nobody else is having it. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, please log out and log back in. So now this is the so then Priya means a few teeth come out. Somebody brings a chocolate cake, and your object of delight is uh, uh, tra-la-la chocolate cake. Then what happens? A few teeth come out. Ah, oh, nice. And that is the head of the Anandamaya bird. This Vritti Vishesha is the head of the Anandamaya bird. And then it has what is called the right wing, Moda. In fact, this is this is a very close word. You would know the word Moda if you think of what Lord Ganesha has in his hand. What does Lord Ganesha have in his hand?
Modak.
Yeah, Modaka, meaning that which causes even more delight than Priya. So then, um, so what is the Moda? Moda is also another Vritti Vishesha, another change in the Antakarana, in the inner instrument. And when does this change happen? This change is even more of it's a better change than the Priya, a little more happy stance than the Priya. And when does it take place? Ishta vastu prapanena. So when that first you smiled at the chocolate cake because you couldn't do otherwise, it was a very good looking cake. And then the person says, you know what, I brought this for you. Oh, really? This is Moda. It's mine. It's really, really mine. It's not even my birthday. They got me a cake. How nice. And that is what is Moda. So first you see the difference between Priya and Moda. Priya means what? You just see something that you like, but then it can be too much to afford. It can be not there. It can, it is somebody else's. Just because you like it doesn't mean it's yours. But here somebody is assuring you this is for you. This is the right wing. Then the left wing, Pramodaha, Uttaraf Pakshaha. Paksha means wing. So Pramoda. So with the Moda, you put one pra there, Prakarshena Modaha. Even more delight. Even more delight. You put, you have even more delight. And that is, when does that happen? When the guest goes away, and then the guest should go away. You should not be asked to share that cake. Otherwise, it doesn't happen. Otherwise, Pramoda doesn't come. You just keep talking and then you make the guest go away. You don't offer them the cake. Then there is no Pramoda. Then after they are gone, then you cut yourself the biggest slice in the whole world and then ingest it, inhale it, scarf it down, vacuum it up, and then that that subject object fusion here is called pramoda. Again, a vritti vishesha. And I keep on, because there is really no translation for Vritti Vishesha, I keep saying Vritti Vishesha, but it means a particular mindset, a change in the mind. All right, so these are the three kinds of changes in the mindset, in the ways in which one processes different kinds of happiness. And then this is the various kinds of happinesses. So one is tiny, chota happiness. I see something that is wonderful. Yay! Oh no, this is for you. No, I can't. But inside the mind is jumping. Yes, I can. But just out of politeness, I said, no, you shouldn't have. Inside the mind is going, you should have, and thank God you did. Thank God you did this, and you should have. This is Modha. And then after that, the subject-object fusion that takes place with the object of delight, whether it's a person, a thing, an event, whatever it is. And that is called Pramoda. Priyamoda Pramoda. All right. And so these are the limbs. One is the head, one is the left wing, one is the right wing, etc. So then, what is it that's holding all these three vritti visheshas together? What is it that's holding the vritti visheshas together? This is something we have to look at. These are all vritti visheshas, means various kinds of iterations, mental modifications, which are filtered through the mind. This is very important to know, because the happiness is experienced through and filtered through the mind. So these are the various kinds of happinesses. And then these various kinds of happinesses derive their being from what? The trunk of the bird, or the body of the bird. So the body of the Anandamaya bird is what? Ananda Atma. It is Ananda. And this is where, dear friends, the confusion starts to come between Ananda and Anandamaya. There is a very beautiful Brihadaranyaka Vakya. I took it out, but then it got lost somewhere just before the class. So I'll have it for you to chant and to explain tomorrow. It's very, very nice. And basically, what the Brihadaranyaka Vakya says is this is in the section between the who is that Yagyamalkya and King Janaka dialogue. So there he says that this Ananda, and we have actually seen this portion when we were studying the Shatashloki in our previous Janma. Okay, so long ago. So in the Shatashloki, this has come, and so those people who have studied the Shatashloki will recognize this. And so now there are here in this particular portion in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Janaka is being taught by sage Yagyamalkya, who says to him that of this Ananda alone, of this huge sea meaning ocean meaning that which doesn't really have boundaries, at least perceptually. Perceptually, you just see water all the way to the horizon, and that is basically what that boundlessness is here in this sea of Ananda, which is one's Swarupa, which is one's nature. All the beings matram upajivanti. Sarve prajaha or sarve janaha, whatever it is, tomorrow we'll look at that. Matram upajiv. Matra means a small measure of this Ananda alone, which is one's own nature. Which is one's own nature, is experienced. All the Ananda that is there, all the Ananda means not that it can be quantified, but the Ananda that is you, that is limitless, like even the ocean, that which is limitless, that which is free of boundary, that which is your nature, is not an object of experience. It cannot be an object of experience. Why? Because it is the subject. It is you. It is not an object of experience. That's why even though one tries to experience Ananda, one cannot experience it. Because what you experience is a matra. Matra means a small, infinitesimal measure. A small measure, a tiny, 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 tiny measure of that Ananda is in an experiential form experienced. And you see this in children laughing over something, in parents laughing to parents smiling at their children. You see that same ananda. You see the ananda in children skipping rope, playing ball, going to school. You see that ananda in somebody playing with their puppy, and you see that same ananda in getting an object of delight, in experiencing an object of delight. And you see that same ananda in somebody who had some ambition to achieve something, and they had to pass some exam and then they achieved it. That same ananda, but in a very small, truncated form alone, is available for experience. So the ananda that is you is already you, and what is experienced is a splintered ananda. Because when you are talking of this ananda, which is Brahman, Brahmananda alone it is. But what is the difference between ananda and anandamaya? When does it become maya? It becomes maya when the subject-object split takes place. That is when it becomes maya from ananda, brahmananda, and from there it becomes maya. Why does it become maya? Because I became an experience hunter and I became an experience hog. I want to experience ananda, I said. And so I got into a status called the experiencer. Got into means what? I identified with, occupied solely the status of the experiencer. And then what happened as a result? That which is an object of experience naturally became away from me. And then what happens? So I, the subject, wants to operate the sense organs to to vacuum, to siphon off the delight from that particular object. The sense organs are the mediators. Or if it is some kind of a scientific experiment, some kind of a induction, deduction, inference, all these things we can say. So this is something fantastic, very interesting. So that Ananda, which is my nature, which is not an object of experience by most people in the world who do not understand Vedanta, what do? They naturally want to objectify that which gives them happiness. They think that the object is the cause of happiness, that the object is responsible for the various vritti visheshas, priya, moda, pramoda. This is wrong, but this is what is understood, misunderstood. I think that the chocolate cake is responsible for the priya, and then the understanding, the cognition that the chocolate cake is indeed for me and not for anybody else gave rise to moda. And then when I could finally sit down and enjoy and eat the chocolate cake, here comes pramoda. This is most people's understanding. But from the standpoint of Vedanta, what is happening? You yourself are Ananda. But not being cognizant of this fact, why? Due to our Atma Ajnanam. What else? Due to the Atma Ajnanam alone. Due to the self-ignorance alone. This is not understood. And since it is not understood, then the infinite I, who is already infinite, is in search of the infinite and mistakes the finite for the infinite. Anatmani Atma Buddhihi. This is one form of projection, adhyas. So, looking for the silver coin in the mother of pearl, where? On the beach. Mistaking the mother of pearl for the silver coin is a similar example here. because I ran, thinking it's a silver coin, but actually it was just a worthless piece of shell called mother of pearl, worthless shell, which also has a shining inside, and in the light of the sun it shone. So here, one all the activities. And here the Shastra talks about two kinds of activities. One is the kind which I just explained, running towards what is considered to be an object of delight. And then again, for that Ananda to remain intact, only running towards something is not enough. What do I have to do? I have to run away from unfavorable and unsavory things. Unfavorable situations and unsavory things I have to run away from. And what is the first thing I run away from? Snake. Yeah. So snake, scorpion, cockroach, and other villains in the world, and bugging people and bugs and all these things I have to run away from for this Ananda to be constantly experienced as an object. Ananda here is peace of mind. How can you have peace of mind when you have a scorpion infestation? Somebody was telling me that, I don't know, somewhere in South America, they built one house, and then they turned on the faucet, and then the scorpion came out, and not small, 6 inches. It kind of 6 inches long, and it kind of unfurled itself, aram se, very leisurely, stretched itself. So like this, you want to run away from such things, unsavory things, and at the same time, that's also not enough. Therefore, you want to run towards things that again, all these are finite objects. You run away from finite objects, and then the running away from them gives you ananda, and then or maintains the ananda, and then you run towards other things, and then running towards those things, the very act of running towards them makes you closer to experiencing the ananda. And so that split, which makes the object from which you are running away from, or the object that you are running towards, other than you, makes this ananda into ananda maya. Maya here means vikara, modification. What is the modification here? The subject object split. That is the modification. So therefore, the running towards something is called pravritti, based pursuits, and then nivritti, running away from, is called nivritti, based pursuits. These are the only two pursuits, at the end of which the jiva is panting. At the end of life, the jiva is panting like a dog and not gaining what one wanted to gain. That's why we saw in the Vijnanamaya that, in the Manomaya we saw that shloka. Yato vacho nivartante apraapya manasa saha anandam brahmano vidvan na bidheti kadachaneti. So where the mind and the mind and the speech are unable to objectify this ananda, and they just give up. They give up. They naturally give up. And why do they give up? Because they see that this is not an object. It is the very content of the subject. Oh, if it's not the object, then where is the non-duality, you can ask? Well, it is that which morphs into the subject, and at the same time presents itself as the object without being either subject or object. That is one way to explain it. Or you can say it is both subject and object without being any one thing. It is the truth of the subject, it is the truth of the object, it is the truth of the means of knowledge due to which the subject contacts the object. Eyes, etc. Eyes, ears, etc. Sight, and everything takes place. And so it is the means of knowledge The means of knowledge are not away from this Brahman, whose definition is Ananda. Satyam Jnanam Anantam. That Anantam here alone is Ananda. Ananta and Ananda are one and the same. So, therefore, what? So, therefore, this has to be understood properly. And that which is in itself non-divisible, in itself indivisible, and this indivisible Ananda morphs itself into the experiencer and experienced without becoming, as it were, either the experiencer or the experienced. This is something which is very, very important to understand. And so that, it's just like water. So that same water which has no shape of its own, you pour it into a jug, it looks like the jug. And that same water, you pour it into a dish, it becomes flat. And then you put it in a small little container and put it in the freezer, it becomes ice. It becomes the size of that container. As though water by itself is sizeless, shapeless, but it takes on whatever shape. It has the capacity to take on whatever shape in which it is. So similarly, this Brahmananda, whatever it inhabits, it takes on that shape without becoming that. That's why people are confused about this section. That's why there is so much confusion between Ananda and Anandamaya. So chocolate cake, is it Brahman or not? Chocolate cake is definitely Brahman because there is nothing outside of Brahman. Brahman is not chocolate cake. That is what we have to see. Everything is like that. And so let us go back to the text here. So the trunk of this bird, the body of this bird is Ananda Atma. Here. Ananda Atma. Atma here doesn't mean Atma. Atma means the trunk of this bird, the body of this bird. What connects the head and the wings, that is what is called the body of this bird. The body is Ananda alone. And the same Ananda, this is very easy to understand, morphs into Priya, Moda and Pramoda. Same Ananda morphs into Priya, Moda, Pramoda. And without undergoing itself any change. As though morphs into Priya, Moda, Pramoda without itself undergoing any change whatsoever. And that is what is being talked about here. Then this is another reason. The second reason why this section is misunderstood is this particular sentence. What is the tail of this bird? The tail of this bird is Brahman. Brahma Pucham Pratishtha. Pratishtha means the foundation. The foundation is Brahman. Pucham. Brahma Pucha Pratishtha. Pucham means tail. That's why in Hindi we say Poonj. That has come from Pucham only. It's a Sanskrit word. So, Brahma Pucham Pratishtha. So, this is the tail of the bird. The tail of this bird is Brahman alone. That which is the foundation, that because of which there is Ananda is what? Brahman. That because of which there is Priya, Moda, Pramoda is what? Brahman. That because of which the various modifications, head, tail, everything, head and wings are there. That which connects everything, gives it the stability, is Brahman alone. So this is a very nice description of Anandamaya quotient, and a very intriguing description, and a very intricate description. And then there is a confusion about this section for reasons that are going to be revealed. But for now, let us look at this. The primary confusion rests in two. The primary sources of confusion are two. The first one is where I just pointed it out. And what is that? That is where one Ananda Atma. So the Ananda Atma means the body of this bird is Ananda. So therefore, Ananda and Anandamaya must be one and the same thing. This is one source of confusion. The second source of confusion, as we will see, is Brahma Pucham Pratishtha. If Brahman is the tail of this bird, then that means what? That means it cannot be a vikara, it cannot be a modification. It must be Brahman alone. This is what a lot of scholars contend, and as Adi Shankara will show, wrongly contend. So one such person who Adi Shankara dwells with in the Brahma Sutra. In the Brahma Sutra itself, this is analyzed very intricate. Anandamayo Bhyasat. There is a sutra. Then that sutra there is it is also called Anandamaya Adhikarana. Adhikarana means chapter. And so there this is taken up very much in detail. And here also in the Bhashya we'll get this in detail. But I just want to give you a small, what's the word for it? A small glimpse into what is this all about. We have a what is that called? We have an ancient scholar, as I mentioned earlier, who is the contemporary of Adi Shankara, or little before Adi Shankara, who wrote a vritti. Vritti means a kind of a commentary. He wrote a vritti of the what is it called? Brahma Sutra vritti. And he is called Vrittikar. Vrittikarasya matam, Adi Shankara says. This vritti is lost to us. For reasons unknown to us, this vritti is not there. The existence of the vritti and the summary of the vritti is given by Adi Shankara. So we knew he had it and he read it, and because he has commented on it. But the vritti itself is not there. Maybe it will be in some kind of a stomach of some kind of a goat, an ancient goat. If it is, sometimes, they are, when the glaciers are thawing in Siberia, etc., they are finding perfectly frozen animals. They found a puppy. Before that, they found one, I don't know what, some woolly mammoth they found. And then and in the puppy, even the blood was fresh. It was kept so nicely. Prehistoric puppy and prehistoric woolly mammoth, all these kind of things they found. And then on doing the analysis, they could even do the analysis of the stomach contents and say, oh, this puppy had had some ancient bread before it died. Before it was, maybe it died in an snow avalanche or something. That was the hypothesis. And so now, if such a goat is ever unearthed, and we do the stomach content analysis, then we can say it had Bhartru Prapancha's vritti for lunch. Okay, Ajab Bhakshitam. This is what happened, perhaps. But because the ancient manuscripts were written in on the palm leaves, and so you had to stay up and guard it from goats. This is what you have to do. If you were a brahmachari, you had to guard the teacher's writings from being ingested by goats. All right. So Bhartru Prapancha's vritti is not there for us. But then through Adi Shankara's commentary on Bhartru Prapancha's vritti, we know that Bhartru Prapancha had a very interesting analysis of this whole Anandamaya section. And what did he say? He said basically that Anandamaya is Brahman. It is not it is not the same as the what is that called? Annamaya, Pranamaya. It's not the same Maya. It is a different understanding of this word or the suffix Maya. So different understanding. So it is not the same as Annamaya, Pranamaya, etc., etc. It is a different understanding. And so here it means Prachurya. So the suffix Mayat has three meanings. One is Vikararthe, and we have been seeing that. Vikara means modification. Annamaya, a modification of food, that is the body. Because if you eat idlis, one is not, the idlis don't go settle under the skin like lumps. It is modified into nutrition and fat and muscles and blood and bone and all these things, and it nourishes all of them. And so Annamaya, modification of Annam, that is this body. Pranamaya, modification of the prana, which is the inhalation, exhalation, and all these other physiological functions. Manomaya, modification of the mind. And that is what it is. Yeah, Sukha, Dukkha, all these things. Sankalpa, Vikalpa, everything. And then Vijnanamaya, modification of Vijnanam, that knowledge which is owned up with a sense of agency thanks to the Ahankara, that is Vijnanamaya. And then again Anandamaya. Now tell me, Anandamaya, is it not the same as the other Mayas? Yes, it should be. But here, Bhartri Prapancha argues that it is Anandam Brahma. It is not the Maya in the sense of Vikara. We should take the second meaning. What is the second meaning? Prachuryarthe. Prachurya means preponderance. Preponderance means predominance. Predominantly Ananda. Preponderantly Ananda means what? Mostly Ananda, little bit of Dukkha is there. Then what is the use of this Ananda? An Ananda that is laced with Dukkha. Do I want that or not? Who wants that? Raise your hand. Nobody wants that. Nobody in their right mind will say, please give me Ananda. But then it's okay, little bit of Dukkha you mix and give. Nobody will say that. Not a single person will say that. And even if somebody is out of their mind, they will not say that. They will come back to their senses if they are asked this question. And so really, this preponderance theory goes away. And we see, preponderance means it's mostly that. Like we say, Nagaram, Jalamayam. Jalamayam Nagaram means what? That this town is full of water. The California Vasis can say that. People in California can say that because it's been raining so much. But then even if it's been raining so much, that means what? There are puddles everywhere. Jalamayam. Here it's Prachuryarthe. It is not Vikararthe. It's not a modification of Jala, water. It is Jalamayam means it's full of water. But then there is a hyperbole there, meaning it's mostly water. There are puddles, and in between the puddles, there are non-puddles. That's how we can say this is a puddle, because the puddle area is demarcated by non-puddle, which is a dry area. So you can hop, skip, and jump, and then go for a mile without really encountering water. But still, Nagaram, this town is what? Jalamayam. This Nagara is Jalamaya, we can say. And so this is the preponderance meaning, the second meaning. The third meaning is Swarthe, rarely used, like Chinmaya, Tanmaya, like that when we say it is its own meaning. Chinmaya means it's not a modification of Chit, and it's neither a preponderance of Chit, it's only Chit. But here the Vrittikara, Bhartru Prapancha, argues that it is the preponderance meaning we have to take. So this all is not well with this preponderance theory, primarily because why? Because it means that it will have a little bit of its opposite. So Jala means it will have, Jalamaya means it will have non-jala. Anandamaya means it will have non-ananda as well. And so therefore what? So therefore, this is something which is not to be, this meaning cannot be taken. So he gives a few arguments. We'll be seeing that in detail, not to worry. He gives a few arguments why it has to be prachuryarthe. Prachurya means this overflowing ananda, but little bit of sadness. Why does he take this prachuryarthe? Because he says it is ananda alone. Why? First reason he gives is ananda atma. If the Atma of this word is Ananda, then everything is Ananda. Then the second thing he says is Brahma Pucham Pratishtha. Brahma Pucham Pratishtha. The Pucha, the tail is Brahman. So anything that has Brahman for its tail, how can it be Vikara? It cannot be. And how can it be a Maya? It cannot be Maya. It must be the original thing. It must be Ananda alone. This is what he argues. And his huge vritti, what happened? What happened to this huge vritti? The Adi Shankara summarizes it and then dispenses with it in a small paragraph. And we'll be studying those paragraphs here also because he gives the same argument here as well. So now let us look at the Bhashya, if I can find it. It's a lot of documents that are open. Then it has come out. It was in the back. Let me share this. Okay. So here we are. Sarvan Papan, Chaya Paya, Kaman, Vijnana. Good for us. We have finished one more page. So we are on page 277 now, top of it. So here, Tasya Purvasya Manomanayasya Esha Vijnanamaya is concluded. Now, Tasmadva etasmad iti uktartham, as before. As before, he says. Meaning, we have done this, we have been there and done this. So continue with the same meaning. Tasmadva etasmad, atmanaha, like this, all this, whatever we had studied before, the same thing is there. Nothing much to say. Then he says, he gives here 5 reasons. 5 reasons why Anandamaya is not Ananda. This is all based on the Vrittikaram, what is called Vrittikara Matam. So what is the first reason? Anandamaya iti karyatma pratitihi. Anandamaya, this particular section is to be understood as karyatma, pratiti, cognized as karyatma. Why? He gives 2 reasons. And always the reasons are in the 5th case. Adhikara. Number 1. Mayat Shabdat cha. Number 2. Very beautiful. So, Anandamaya, this is going to, it is very nice for him to write in like this. This is all short form. And it takes a long time to explain it because that is his beauty of how he uses the language. So Anandamaya, this thus, iti means thus, this particular section, this Anandamaya must be understood as Karyatma. Pratitihi means cognition. This must be cognized as Karyatma. What is Karyatma? As opposed to Karanatma or Mukhyatma. Karyatma is a product. It is Atma, all right, because nothing is outside of Atma. We don't say that Karana is, the Karya is outside of the Karana. This is already, we have dealt with this earlier. The effect is non-separate from the cause. We saw this in Chandogya, we have been seeing this here also in the Bhashya. So that we call effect is also Atma. That which is the cause is also Atma. As though cause, we have to say. And for which the causality has been superimposed upon which, that is called Mukhyatma. Meaning, will the real Atma stand up? That is what is called Mukhyatma. And what is the real Atma? That which is free of Karya and Karana. That is the Atma. That which is free of either being a cause or being an effect, that which morphs into a cause and takes on a causality when it is invoked as the cause, especially with relation to a manifest Jagat, and that which is free of being either cause or effect, that which is non-separate from the effect, but it is the effect is Atma, but Atma is not the effect. Cause is nothing but Atma is not the cause. Atma, which is neither cause nor effect, but here what are we talking about in Anandamaya? We are talking of a product. We are talking of a product. We are not talking of the consciousness. We are not talking of Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma. We are not talking of that at all. Why are we not talking of that? We are not talking of that because this is Anandamaya section. This is the section where the jiva who is in search of happiness has made a split between the subject and the object in order to ingest this happiness. That is what this jiva is. So therefore, this is not Ananda Atma. The word Maya is there. And that is the so Adhikarat. Adhikarat Anandamaya iti Adhikarat, he says. Adhikara means it is the section. Adhikara means the context. Anandamaya iti karma karyatma pratitihi. It is to be seen as a modification, as the effect. When? How? Because it is adhikara, because of the context. What is the context here? तस्माद् वा एतस्मात् आत्मन आकाशः सम्भूतः आकाशाद् वायुः वायोरग्निः अग्नेरापः अद्भ्यः पृथिवी पृथिव्या ओषधयः ओषधीभ्योऽन्नम् अन्नात् पुरुषः स वा एष पुरुषोऽन्नरसमयः. This is what we have seen. So, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. And then that Brahma, the word Brahman was changed into Atma. Tasmad va e, because it is the same as Atma. Tasmad va e tasmad, from this Atma alone, this Atma which is I, from oneself alone, Atmanaha, Akasha Sambhutah, from this the Akasha came, from Akasha Vayu came, from Vayu Agni came, from Agni water came, from water what came? Earth came, from the earth all the foliage came that sustains life, and then those trees and plants constituted Annamaya of this Purusha. So this is what? Karyatma alone. Adhikara, the whole Adhikara is that all this is the Karya of Brahman. Vijnanamaya Karya of Brahman. Manomaya Karya. Karya means the product of Brahman. As though we have to add, okay? Yeah. So Manomaya Karya of Brahman, Vijnanamaya Karya of Brahman, Anandamaya also, because in the same context, Karya of Brahman. So as I have said many times, if you say hat, coat, shoes, the next thing in the item should be umbrella. All right, because they all go together. So if you say hat, coat, shoes, and orange, it doesn't go together. So why would the Upanishad, which is flawless in every other respect, suddenly make a mistake here and then say Anandamaya is Ananda. Not possible. And this is what is Mimamsa. Mimamsa means the proper analysis, a proper and an exacting research into something that is that is a revealed text. And you in analyzing a revealed text, there cannot be any subjectivity. You have to wait for it to reveal it to you and then analyze it based on what it is trying to reveal as opposed to what you want to see it. This is very, very important. So it is a revealed text, and what is it revealing? You have to see. And so far it has revealed that the various ways in which the Karya, namely the physical body and all its accoutrements, how it has become, it is one with that whole, that Vyashti body with its Manomaya, Pranamaya, etc., as it obtains in this body, which is the Karya of Prithvi and the Oshadhaya. We saw that. And so this body, which is an effect, this body mind sense complex, which is an as though creation, and as though product of this Brahmatma, how it is connected to that samashti, it is connected to the total at every level we saw. And what is that? Activating that connection are those various upasanas. So upasanas activate the connection, and in activating that connection in the form of the meditation, I lose that alienation. On every level, we saw this beautiful, each upasana more beautiful than the previous one. So now, suddenly, why will Anandamaya be different? Especially if the Maya is there. It will not be different. It will exactly be the same. Adhikarat. Adhikarat means because of this particular section. And what is the section? The section is Karyatmak Pratiti is the section. The whole section. Here from Annamaya all the way to Anandamaya is understanding the Atma in the form of this so-called effect of the body, mind, sense complex and its various moods and its various feelings and the statuses. Ahankara attaching itself to karta, ahankara attaching itself to the status of bhokta, experiencer, all this. This is what we are looking at. We are looking at how the makeup of this jiva is not outside of the Atma. And all that which constitutes jivatvam is not outside of Atma. And in fact, the body, mind, sense complex in which this jiva is indwelling is nothing but Brahmat. But in the form of a effect or karya. Body is an effect, mind is an effect, kartritvam is an effect. All these are effects. In effect, they are all effects. And this is what is the purpose of this section. And suddenly when you come to Anandamaya, why should it be different? This is what Bhashyakara argues. The first argument, very, very effective. We'll be seeing this in detail. This is just a little, preview about what is going to come tomorrow. And then the next one, he says, Mayat Shabda Prayogat cha. Mayat Shabdat cha. Mayat Shabda means the suffix Maya is there. So suffix Maya is there, and then this Maya cannot be any different than that Maya. And there is no basis whatsoever, no basis at all whatsoever for understanding Anandamaya in the form of the Prachurya, in the form of the other meaning of Maya, which is preponderance, and then analyzing all the others as Vikara, modification. Why should this be Prachurya and the others Vikara? Bhashyakara doesn't spare this. He's very, very careful about these kinds of nuances, these kinds of what are they called, grammatical nuances, and any kind of subtle nuances he does not gloss over at all. So he says that it is very much Anandamaya, Ananda Vikara. Vikara means the modification of the Ananda into subject object division, and that which is experienced by the subject as different from the object. That is what is the subject matter of this Anandamaya Kosha. More we'll see tomorrow. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ. Any questions are there? No? Okay.